Should it go off, Jonathan? What do I do? Just hit the home button area? Shouldn't, but let's just say.
Yeah, we're live now.
Okay, perfect.
Once you start.
Once I start, it's all over.
That's it.
I don't think of you as Italian.
You don't?
No.
What does that mean, Jonathan? What would she?
Well, that was the character on Laverne and Shirley, perhaps. Is that what you're alluding to?
No, I thought you were half, and I didn't think you were 100%.
Oh, I'm not 100%. I'm half Italian.
What's the other half? Swedish?
Yeah. No, it's
Laugh at it, I said, what?
it's Welsh, basically. Little French, little.
Oh no,
maybe
thank
a
you,
little
thank you though.
Cindy, is that okay for what you're seeing on the screen in front of you for your information? Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Ian.
And so Nancy,
Man, I know I'm going to need more water.
Yeah, okay.
Nancy doesn't have any ears, no?
Yes, she does.
Oh.
Ladies, you look great on camera.
Thank you, Carol, for that vote of confidence.
Yes, yes, Cindy should be able to hear you.
And everyone looks thin
Oh.
because they have a special camera here. I asked for it last time.
Hey, Joe, how are you? Haven't seen you since that dinner party, and we were online for the buffet. I forget whose house, where we were. Maybe David Rashi's.
Ian, can you put Joe on the screen?
Yes. There you go.
Can you do split screen with Cindy and Joe? Or does it have to be just me and split
Oh,
screen?
maybe I should.
No?
I like the
There you
glasses.
Do I look a
Very-
little more above my
more
IQ?
More educational. More educational. Professor Cindy.
All right,
Can
fine.
you hand down a little bit on Cindy, please?
I'm up to be an adjunct professor, but I don't know what adjunct means.
Not full time.
Isn't that like
Yeah.
all
That's
A bit
Almost.
too much headroom.
I thought it meant next to.
Yeah,
Next.
you're like a consultant. You're like a consultant professor.
But it
You're not
sounds
full-
really good, doesn't it?
Sure, it looks nice on a resume. It's a big.
Not quite that much.
Because I don't have a master's
That's
degree.
good. That's good.
Okay.
Is it though?
You probably do.
You bet.
You
Overpaid, right? Overeducated, underpaid. Yep.
Nice and simple on the screen.
Every teacher is.
You bet.
Is somebody going to take still photos? Could somebody do
I
that?
can.
Oh, you could, yeah. Great.
Where's our little buddy who was here the last time? Remember the young guy?
He worked for Amanda and Ian.
Yeah, he was adorable.
Yeah, he's off today.
Cute as heck. He
Who
was.
got fired?
He was not fired. Was he fired?
No,
Did you fire him?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know what
Oh.
happened to him. So we're going to start with the animation, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And then let's see.
And then we'll just roll.
Alright, that's good. Now, Nancy, we can just.
Okay, I'm gonna take a photo. So.
Once you're taking the phone.
Perfect.
Nancy, I just want to get like a little sound check for you, so if you can just kind of talk at your regular conversational voice.
Is
A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Careful.
sorry. Are you split screen there? Do you want to take a picture of
I am
Joe
split
on
screen.
the screen, or do you want to take it? You know what I'm saying?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Alright.
9, 10.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you so
do-
much. Prove the education
Jonathan?
system on Lava just there.
Jonathan, can I
almost
do
that.
a
Only
quick
I
check
got
with you for the
88,
teleprompter?
Sure.
A long time no see. Someone
Should I do red leather, yellow leather, red
5
leather?
minutes.
red leather,
You can do
yellow
5 minutes.
leather. I can
Can
do.
you take a picture of that?
The screen.
This screen, please, Cindy. Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, dedicated to helping teachers.
There's a bounce light.
Ian, is that what you wanted me to?
It's okay.
You want me to read off the prompter? Oh, you just
you're doing a
focus.
little practice now for the teleprompter?
You ready?
That'll be Amanda, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all her right now, she's controlling that, so I'm just
Okay.
How is this?
I'm just trying to
doing stuff.
fix my tie and
Alright.
look backwards. And we're live, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Amanda, can we, you know what, I might need to just cheat. that
Melissa
by
Redford is
just a
watching.
little bit on Nancy.
Is that your Melissa?
Yeah, probably.
Just give me
Okay.
a second. Just going to check this. Nancy, is that all correct in terms of information for you?
You bet.
Correct stuff.
Oh,
No.
E-R. Zegler.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
C-E-R.
That's why we do these things.
Yeah.
So Jonathan, I've got a timer for you now.
Oh,
So it's going
Look
to
at
count
that.
Better?
down from 26 down.
got it.
So you'll be able to just,
That's
yourself,
fabulous.
so we're not like.
I know. That's my floor director.
It's not going to be this dark when it goes out, is it?
No, it's gonna look what's behind it. It's gonna be purple behind you.
No, I meant.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
No,
I just meant the lighting.
No, that monitor is not true to what you're seeing.
I didn't have this right. No, I'm just teasing. I don't know. I have to leave now, though.
Black backgrounds matter.
Pardon me. Oh. Just a little COVID. No, I'm just joking.
Right,
Joke,
right.
joke. This
I'm
is
just
terrible
joking.
joke.
Miranda,
Just going to do.
check on Jonathan's mic there. Just make sure his position
Are you a
is
What?
teacher?
He needs to have it on the other side because
Yes.
he's talking into the
During the
into
day.
table.
You have the kind of face that I
Sounding
wish
a little
all
roomy.
my teachers had.
You know, I'm the one that, you know, when you're waiting in line, people come up and talk to you
Yeah.
because it's the friendliest face.
You are the friendliest face.
I promise there's a Larry David that lives inside
Oh.
of me.
Oh,
that's good to
funny.
know.
Right.
You're so
We
cute
won't
because
talk
you've
so
got
long
high
as you get-
cheekbones
Nancy, right.
and those cute cheeks. That's why.
Yeah. And I'm very polite, but people love to come up and talk to me. I'm like, hi, yes, of course, friendly face, born with the kindergarten teacher face.
Look at those rosy cheeks.
I know, that's what I said. I
Beautiful
mean,
face.
people pay a ton of money for that.
Beautiful face.
Smiling face. It's Nancy with the smiling face.
Ah, Frank Sinatra. Yeah.
We're gonna.
And a laughing face.
So Amanda.
Yes.
Nancy's sounding the best of the three right now. So if we might just be able to get a little higher, a little closer.
Yep.
Also on Cindy as well, please.
Is there a Kleenex somewhere?
Absolutely.
Here, Jonathan, don't cough.
I'll cough until we're on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna grab the Kleenex.
No, it's okay. I'll get a
It's right there.
Yeah, there's a
That's
box
one-
out there. I think she's getting the box.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Technically, yes.
Technically.
Well, I mean,
Wow, I
technically,
haven't
yes.
heard that.
Thank you.
Technically. yes.
Cryo.
Right. Pardon?
I might need to get a little bit more light on Nancy.
We do not speak a lot. I do send birthday cards and Father's Day cards as appropriate.
Right, let me just grab the.
I will.
I see what you mean.
I've got a hello for you, Joe, from Giada Valenti.
My favorite movie growing up was Baby's Day Out because being a kiddo that grew up in Chicago and like it being, I'm a child of the 90s. So I was like, I remember being shot in like our neighborhoods.
Nancy went to my grammar school, Joe, and the difference is that she was born in 1986 and I graduated high school in 1972. Yeah, aside from that, Joyce Cumber.
Did you turn it
I
over?
think that I shall never
That one?
see a poem as lovely as a tree.
Just not quite as.
I remember having 50 kids in a kindergarten class and 2 teachers. I'm thinking, this is not going to work out. I'm not going to get out of what I need out of this.
So I mean, I remember my first telephone number was Briargate 477727. Did you have like a street name for your phone number?
Dickens.
Yeah, mine was Garfield. GA too. Isn't that
What was
funny?
it, Joe?
Yeah.
Sacramento.
That's so weird.
Oh.
What is it?
And
And
were
Nancy-
you living in Sacramento?
Oh, Chicago.
Oh,
Cicero,
Chicharo. I went to I did my
Chicharo.
student teaching at Morton East.
Cicero, Illinois.
It's a big thing when you go to Morton East that they plug the Joe
Is
Monte.
the mayor of Cicero out of jail yet?
Oh, Betty Lauren Maltese.
I have people-
Remember her? Betty Lauren Maltese. That's the thing.
Look, like,
Yeah.
Danny and I had a good conversation about your Uncle Willie the other day.
Still sounding very airy.
Sure was.
Jonathan, just give me another sound check, please. Oh. Can you just get a little sound check again from Jonathan?
Okay. Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, dedicated to helping teachers, parents, and most importantly, students with distance learning. We're coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically Clark County, which is the 5th largest school district in the United States, with over 18,000 teachers and over 300,000 students. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, more than 90% of our students in Clark County have assigned more Fs and 77% assigned more D grades than in 2019, mirroring a national trend of lower student achievement during school closures and the COVID-19 pandemic.
How does that sound?
The percentage of F grades has doubled from 6% to over 13% in fall of 2020. And while the percentages of A grades remain the same at 31%, 11% of students who had A's now had F's in fall 2020, affirming that many families report that typically high-achieving students struggled with virtual school. Furthermore, the connection between academic performance and mental health is sometimes even more apparent in typically high-achieving students.
Thank you, sir.
Doing.
Okay, Jonathan, let's just
I
check
think
speed.
everybody else. One more time, Nancy, please, just to be sure.
Yep. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
And Cindy.
A-B, long time no see. Hello, testing. They that have the power to hurt and will do none. Is that, do you need any more than
No,
Is
that's
that
perfect.
Churchill?
No, it's not true. It's close. It's Shakespeare.
How was that close?
English.
Same, right.
A similar country.
That's what I went for.
Okay.
Okay, as far as
To be or not to be? That's a question.
Yeah, it is indeed. All right. So at this point, I think we'll just do a little. So we can start with the
Animation.
The animation,
No, Cindy hasn't seen it.
and we'll just make sure that's running as it should. Did you want us to run the whole thing just to preview? Or do you
No,
want-
I'm fine. Do you want to do a speed check on the teleprompter?
yes,
let's do
absolutely,
that.
can do that.
I'm
ready?
Standing by. I forget that we're live on whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and I'm getting.
Sorry, that was no. That was your video. I was just checking your video. Go.
Oh, okay. Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, dedicated to helping teachers, parents, and most importantly, students with distance learning. We're coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically Clark County, which is the 5th largest school district in the United States, with over 18,000 teachers and over 300,000 students. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, more than 90% of our students in Clark County have assigned more Fs and 77% assigned more D grades than in 2019, mirroring a national trend of lower student achievement during school closures and the COVID-19 pandemic. Can you make it a little slower?
Mhm.
Okay, thanks. Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, dedicated to helping teachers, parents, and most importantly, students with distance learning. We're coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically Clark County, which is the 5th largest school. That's a good speed.
Okay.
Okay, did you read that article where they're sending kids back? They have to go back to school. They're saying because of the amount of teen suicides.
Mhm.
Did you read?
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
I
You
read
gotta talk
that.
to the person who actually sits on those boards and meetings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You bring that up. You could bring that up.
Yeah, we
Save
can
it,
talk about
save
it.
it, save it, save it.
Ian,
All right.
that's
So
Hold on.
you will be
I
coming.
got that said it's 26.7, so it's 7 seconds.
Hi, everybody in Facebook land.
Jonathan, so we will. We're going to be running the animation straight to you, and then you're going to be going to Joe. From
Yeah,
at
well,
that point.
yeah, and
Joe first.
Yeah, we'll just go back and forth between Joe, Cindy, and Nancy.
Okay, so you'll do the introductions to
Yes.
to all the guests first.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, right after my teleprompter.
Okay, yeah, and so you'll do in studio, and then you'll bring in Joe, and then will you, in terms of any images that you wanted to get, are you going to ask for those? You're just going to tell me when to bring those in.
Just bring them in when you think they should be in. Right? But do it during the introductions would be the right spot, I think. No.
Well, I mean, the ones that really, yes, we could. I mean, I think the one of Joe is relatively redundant because he's here.
Okay.
So I was just thinking of that perspective. Obviously, with Cindy, we have the three. We have the book,
Right.
and just to show you, so we have this one.
Oh, you don't have to. But
No.
thank you.
But if you're
Okay.
talking about it, as you talk about it, I can bring that in. And of course, it's going to be we're going to be referencing that, I'm sure, at some point.
Okay.
And then we just have 2 of those.
Yep.
So I'll just bring those in as you're
Good.
talking about that. All right. Very good.
Andy's face wasn't hidden there.
Very good. And then at the end of the whole show,
Yes.
what's going to be your outro so that I can make sure I can line up the credits?
Eat well and party hard, my friends.
All right.
I'll thank our guests.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
we'll be sure to run right out there now.
And if you-
We're going to the Hustler Club right after this, right?
Perfect. There you go.
Down the street.
And then at the end of the show, if you can then be straight to camera, straight to this camera for your goodbye, and then hold it because I'm going to go to a wide, and if everybody on set can just remain a little quiet just for a few seconds as we run it in, I'll start the credits, and then I'll mute you all. But just in case you all start kind of wanting to chat the second.
Yeah, I'll remind everybody to go to my YouTube page at the end.
Yeah, if you could, and then when the end is the end, just to say, keep an eye, a straight focus on that camera, and just hold it, and then I'll let you know when it's okay to.
We'll name vegetables.
To relax. There you go. In your minds.
In my mind, we'll
Oh,
name
in our
vegetables.
minds, not a rhubarb to each other.
You,
So it looks like we're chatting.
you could quiet
Is
rhubarb.
that what they do in the background?
You can
Rhubarb.
you can mine rhubarb if you really
Fantastic.
like. Yes.
Vegetables.
All right.
Rutabagas.
Are we ready to go for a little?
Yes.
Now, are we taping that? Are we
We're
going
recording.
out?
We're not live.
We're recording.
We're
We're
recording.
recording but not live.
Okay.
And,
Recording is live.
Joey, I don't even need to mute you because you're being so lovely and quiet there. So you're more than welcome just to hang out for a second. We'll come to you.
Okay, I've got.
Nancy.
I'll cool.
I'm
Stand by.
like rewatching all my
Cool,
favorite
stand
shows.
by and count down.
You're doing
I'll count down
rhubarb,
from
like you're
7.
saying vegetables.
Sometimes
7.
they do. They
Make
go
sure it's
rhubarb.
Tomatoes.
I can't like tell all my friends when I come home, like, do you know what they probably say?
Yes, a lot of this.
Well, but what is the other one? White
Asparagus.
House is another one.
Oh, I never
All right.
heard White House.
We won't be
We're
saying
ready when you
that
guys
today.
Okay, stand by.
Standing by.
Oh, I've got these allergies.
Sure, Dick.
6, 5.
Hold on. Stand by, Amanda. All right. And we're rolling. On you, Amanda.
What's it again?
I hear you. Are
Yeah,
we going
I
to
was
see the
gonna say-
animation on this monitor?
We are. I was waiting for your countdown.
Oh,
That, you do it and I'll just go with you.
Oh, you can go on me.
Yeah,
I'll
Joe,
go on
can you
you.
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
us now?
Okay.
Was that Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear us now? He said he couldn't hear anybody.
Joe, we're just going to mute for a minute because we have this kind of animation we're going to run in. So, yeah, yes, it's black screen right now. So it'll all pop up in just a second. All right. I'm gonna leave that open then. All right. In 5, 4, 3. right top.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education. A special thank you to my friend Clint Holmes for helping out with that animation. We are dedicated to helping teachers, parents, and most importantly, students with distance learning. We're coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically Clark County, which is the 5th largest school district in the United States, with over 18,000 teachers and over 300,000 students. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, more than 90% of our students in Clark County have assigned more Fs and 77% assigned more D grades than in 2019, mirroring a national trend of lower student achievement during school closures amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The percentage of grades has doubled from 6% to over 13% in fall 2020. And while the percentage of A grades remained the same at 31%, 11% of the students who had A's now have F's in fall 2020, affirming that many families report that typically high-achieving students struggled with virtual school. Furthermore, the connection between academic performance and mental health is sometimes even more apparent in typically high-achieving students. Doing well in school allowed students to feel better about themselves, and it's hitting them harder than ever, like something else is being taken away. That said, distance learning is a global concern affecting not just here in Las Vegas, but our goal is to share tips on engaging your audience, and we've invited our panel to talk about their experience in schools and what suggestions they have for parents and teachers in engaging their students. On today's On Air Education, we'll hear from actor Cindy Williams from the iconic situation comedy Laverne and Shirley, the star of Criminal Minds Joe Mantegna, and special education teacher Nancy Ziegler. Everyone, this is my friend, Cindy Williams.
Snuck up on me.
Looking very professorial.
Yes. You suggested I wear my glasses.
Yes,
and I did want to give myself that hint of intelligence, shall we say.
Well, I find you to be very intelligent.
Well, thank you,
When you were
Jonathan.
young, were there teachers that inspired you that, and how they engaged you to get into the profession that you did?
Oh, yes. Well, of course, my drama teacher, Mr. Culp, in high school. But I remember, as far as learning goes, I remember in American history having this teacher, Mr. Ramirez, and it was after lunch. And
Do we want to hear this?
Oh, well. It was after lunch. We were all tired, and he would always make a big picture out of what he was teaching. And he was teaching some battle. This is how well I remember. Some battle of the Battle of Hill number 104 in the Civil War. And no one was listening. So he said, all right, let's say Miss Williams has her army and she's running up the hill. And Mr. Shoemaker, you're running after Miss Williams. And then everyone perked up and listened to the lesson. So he was just making a big picture out of it. And we could all grasp onto that picture. And we learned much better in his class than in other classes where it was kind of flat and the teacher wasn't expressive like that.
And coming to you all the way from Los Angeles, California, parts unknown, our friend, actor, you may know him from Criminal Minds, or many, many movies with David Mamet, and I don't know how many movies he's done by now, but our friend Joe Mantegna. Great to see you, Joe, and I appreciate you coming in because we're going to talk a little bit about special education because we have another guest on our panel here from Clark County. We have Nancy Ziegler joining us, and Nancy is a special education teacher, and I really appreciate you joining us today, Nancy.
Thank you for having me.
So, Nancy, as a special education, your specialty really, and you said, and I forgot how you wrote, autism is. You said isolated.
Self-contained.
Self-contained, which to me means isolated.
Well, that's a little right. That's an abrasive use of a word, so we say self-contained.
Self-contained. Well, say hello to our friend Joe Mantegna.
Hello, Joe.
Joe, you're working on a new show. Can we talk about that at all? Joe, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Cindy. Is when you were going to school in Cicero, was there a teacher that stands out in your mind? I mean, was there somebody that was inspirational that motivated you somehow?
Wow.
Now, Cindy, I have to ask you about engaging an audience for any tips for the teachers or the parents that you use either on camera or on stage, because you're also a stage performer, to engage the audience.
Well, you mean, and teachers now are teaching in a flat dimension,
Yes.
right? So I just say you have to be bigger than life. Just like theater, you have to be really bigger than life, not be afraid to express yourself and express the subject matter. Like I said about Mr. Ramirez, my point was that he took the story of that battle and just brought it to life and made us all really listen to it, because he kind of personalized it, and he had just a definite way about painting a picture. And that's, that's when you get on stage, of course you've got people there, so you have that camaraderie, that natural, give and take, and you can feel it in the room. When I can just imagine what it must be like for teachers to have to teach in this flat, dimension, and you've got to create a proscenium and even be bigger than life and expressive and capture them so that you give the feeling of being right there.
Now, we've talked before about one of your directors, Gary Marshall, and his day. Ian, can you put one of the pictures, the Kotok picture up?
Yeah.
Now, you've talked to me about, talked a little bit about Gary Marshall's direction for you.
Right. Well, he would always ask, what's the funny picture? And I think that's an example of what the funny picture is. And that, and he would always he would always just make it, always utz it and make it bigger and bigger and bigger and funnier and funnier and funnier and more energy, and until you're at just what Joe was talking about, his theater teacher. Just make it so exciting and thrilling that you were just waiting to perform it. And with that in mind, I was thinking about subjects, in school. And if you think, what is the picture of this subject? And what do I want to get across? And you just think about it in physical terms, in how you present it, and just the excitement that you have to draw to yourself to get through that screen to your students.
So this is our third show on honor education, and one of the things that has stood out is that teaching math is different than teaching history.
Right.
And teaching science is different than teaching art.
Right.
And one of the things that led us here today to this topic is the challenge that Nancy Ziegler has of teaching kids that have special needs kids. So Nancy, what techniques do you use to keep them engaged on distance learning? How's it working out?
Well, I mean, it's January, so I can say it's working out a lot better than it was in August. So I had to pull from the acting techniques of you have to find something fun and happy so that you're able to then emote it to the children. So if it was something in August, I was like, it was just seeing their faces again. I've had my students for 3 years now. So like just seeing their faces, I was already hyped up, being like, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. All right, let's go do our, what's today? Okay, it's what month is it? And we would just start going through our routines. But the challenges as the months go on is like keeping that motivation going. Like it's 8 a.m. again and we have to start this, and I guess we're going to go through the same routine, but having to add in. So I'm like, okay, so what did you do this weekend? And trying to get them to kind of answer me back more. But I work with subjects that are functional life skills. So like my math skills is us talking about dollar bills. So I have the money out. I'm like, let's get our money out. Now the kiddos have their own set of money. So let's get the money out and count. And sometimes we pick fun things to buy that we really can't buy, but we look on the internet like, okay, we want to buy Pop the Pig. So therefore we like, okay, let's count how many we're going to need to buy Pop the Pig. And so it's just a lot of emoting, like you said, and just hoping that an ounce of a smile comes back to you, or there's some sort of excitement in their body language. Like our kiddos with autism have some stims, what they call, where they start to rock back and forth, which might show that they're really engaged, and just looking like, please just don't be a bump on the log. I'm trying to do my best for you guys. I want the best for you guys. So that's one of the ways. Another big way is getting my parents involved. So I try to make it as entertaining that the parents want to sit in on the lesson too. So I try to also have like that 2-layer Pixar thing where, you know, jokes are written on, you know, a layer for adults to enjoy, but also for the kids to enjoy. So I hope that, you know, kind of brings them in, because the more that they can sense that this is not a punishment, the better. I want everybody to have the energy that they're enjoying what's going on, you know, for my half-hour to hour-long sessions.
Wow.
Hey.
That is theatrical.
It
That's
is.
wonderful. The way you do that. I mean, it's wonderful. Do you ever sing with each other?
You bet. Songs are big. We like to sing our songs together. I'll make songs just off the top of my head
Okay,
of what
go
they're
ahead.
saying. Well, right. So I'm like, you know, it's almost February. Next week is February. Can't you wait? It's going to be February.
It's
Like,
going to be my birthday.
Right.
Right.
So
Has a birthday. That's perfect.
It works.
Joe, I know that your daughter is you know, over 30 right now, but when she was in school, what was the biggest challenge for you as a parent? I see a license plate behind you that says Fat Tony, and you probably couldn't see the animation. Oh, and Ian, do you have the Fat Tony? I think I sent you the Fat Tony. There's Fat Tony right. It's right there. We created a little bit of animation when we started the show with. And do you find that the kids respond to animation?
I mean, I don't rely on it a lot because I have such amount of time. I only have a certain amount of time where I have to get my teaching in. But I mean, my kids right now love Red Robin commercials. They love Outback Steakhouse commercials and Macaroni Grill commercials. That's what they look forward to.
Why? Why?
I because it reminds them of going out to dinner, which they no longer can do. So, I mean, they don't. My kiddos, they like Peppa Pig. I mean, I would love if I could show some Fat Tony Simpsons clips. I wish I could, but it just goes right over their head about stuff.
I heard that Fat Tony's voice was really inspired by Joe's Uncle Willie. Now, our associate producer, Carol Adams submitted this question, which is, distance learning often necessitates a certain level of ease and familiarity with technology, as well as sustained attention, motivation, organization, and cooperation. What are you finding is the biggest challenge for your special education students?
The biggest is just being able to maintain sitting in front of me for sometimes hour-long sessions to 30-minute sessions. And what I can be doing then, if I, of course, they're much more physical and showing me their frustration versus saying like, I've had enough right now, can I get a break? I'm not going to hear that come out of their mouth. So I have to be super sensitive to knowing like, okay, well, this is a bit much right now. What I'm asking is a lot of you right now, so I'm going to have to dial it back and be like, let's bring out this activity. This activity is usually, it has a little bit more engagement. So I'll try to layer it for high engagement, low engagement, just so I don't overload them with like drilling, like, okay, let's count our money, let's go through our sight words. I don't want it to be a constant drill session. So if I notice that, you know, they're starting to look off more, they're looking at everything but what they have in front of them, that's when I know I have to change it up immediately. And I have spent so much time getting tabs open on my browser to make sure I have, you know, plans A through Z ready, depending on how I'm reading that room that's in front of me. So wow. You have to plan for everything. I plan for at least 2 hours for my tabs, just in case something's not going as well as I thought they were. But that was crash and burn, you know, in August. I learned that, oh, I did not have enough ready to support myself.
Now, we all want to be politically correct, you know, and I just learned in my conversation that we're not supposed to say Asperger's anymore. Right. It's just on the spectrum.
Why is that?
Well, it became the haves and the have-nots. So it's like, oh, you got the good autism. That's the Asperger's. Oh. You want the good one. Make sure you're not labeled with, you know, regular autism. Oh, your kid's higher. They should get that special one. That's Asperger's. So they had to remove it because it became divisive in the autism community because it somehow that one was a better one to have just by its name, and that should never be part of the purpose of getting a diagnosis, that you want a certain diagnosis because society says, well, that is the better one. We don't feel as bad for you if you have the Asperger's label.
Because it connotes a certain amount of intelligence?
It does.
Or like
it's high functioning. You bet.
You know, I've said before that we're here in Las Vegas, but of course this is a global situation with distance learning. And Ian, I sent you some resources. If you could, before we run out of time, put those resources up on the screen for families here in Clark County and here in Nevada. The Accelerated Learning Clinic, and jump in if you're familiar with any of these.
You bet. Sports Social.
My friends actually started FEAT, Families for Effective Autism Treatment in Southern Nevada, Julia Ostrovsky, and Glitch Fitness, and I understand Sports Social is very, very successful with children responding to bouncing the ball or
they learn how to skateboard, they learn how to ride a bike, they learn how to do music. I mean, it's super inclusive, that where they can work on skills that makes them able to socialize with typical kids. Like, well, if we're both, you know, have an interest in skateboarding, this begins a point where we can socialize together and have a common place to begin with. So Sports Social is an amazing.
So eye-hand coordination isn't a big.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's right. It depends on the human.
I gotcha.
I'm not great at skateboarding, but I also don't have autism. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Okay.
Doesn't mean one or the other.
Well, there's some tips that I have here, and tell me if they relate to things that help the kids. Creating a quiet, distraction-free space for your child to learn.
You bet, but that's very difficult. I would like them to live in a soundproof room and work with me in a soundproof room, but life doesn't always dictate that depending on their home situations.
Find a fun activity your child can look forward to each day.
Yes, sometimes we call it the negotiations. Like, oh wow, if you do really well, we'll make sure you'll be able to walk the dog with us later, kind of thing. You have to have, sometimes you need what we call an A-level reinforcer, the one that they really want to work for.
Set reasonable goals for your child.
Yes, I mean, I always feel like my parents' goals are different than my goals. Like maybe they just want to survive this time and like have a time where like they're not having to be angry or frustrated with their child. So again, I feel like my parents have different outcomes than I do at times.
Think about how to support your child's learning without making it your job to be their teacher.
Again, it's a dance. It's some parents feel like because I'm in their living room, they feel like they need to also be the co-star in our show, and it's difficult. I never want to ask more of them because I feel like they're already doing a lot, but I know if anything, sometimes I feel like they're the ventriloquist and helping my student answer questions when I'm like, yeah, I really need them to answer though. So
And I would be the dummy.
I want to be in Nancy's class.
I think we all want to be in
Yes.
Nancy's class. We have a short time left here. Joe, is there any tips for parents or educators in engaging these kids? Well, we appreciate your time. Joe Montana, new show. Hopefully it'll get picked up called On the
Yes.
Spectrum. And
Yes.
Oh, it's picked up. It's on Amazon.
No, it's on Amazon. Yeah.
Cindy, any
You know,
parting advice for the parents or teachers in engaging the students?
Just be big and fun.
Big and fun.
Yes.
Nancy, last thing. Any wrap up?
I'm wishing everybody the best of luck to get through this last semester.
There you go.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Please like our YouTube page, and it's at Jonathan Scott Entertainment. I want to thank our guests again, Joe Montana all the way from California, Cindy Williams all the way from Las Vegas Country Club.
Don't say that.
And Nancy Ziegler and at Spring Valley High School.
Spring Valley High School, home of the Grizzlies.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Jonathan Scott reminding you, still eat well and party hard, my friends.
Rhubarb. Rhubarb, Nancy.
Rutabagas.
Rutabagas. White
Tomatoes.
House.
Right.
White House.
That's so funny.
Broccoli. And I've got
White House. It's usually on
I've gotta
stage
do
in
this.
the background, and you're supposed to be. You go White House.
Wow.
White House, rhubarb. Because then, anyway, you get it because you're a natural performer. Wow, that is brilliant. The way you teach, brilliant. That's
Yeah.
just brilliant. Yeah.
It is amazing.
I think she should have been an actress. I
Yes,
think you
well,
missed your
she-
calling.
You come from an acting family,
I do.
don't you?
I was the
Mhm.
one that decided this. My grandfather played for the New York Philharmonic under Bernstein. I mean, it's
Wow.
just I was the one that wanted the straight and narrow, not an artist.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I was like,
But
I
still,
wanted
you've
to-
got that in your blood.
and clear.
And we are clear.
Awesome.
What a great show. Honestly, you two are the two. I love all of our guests, but this was a phenomenal
We're the
show.
best. We're taking
Phenomenal.
it on the road, Nancy. and myself.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I wish
Yes.
my family
I'm
would
the
be
dummy.
impressed.
You know, I'm dyslexic and I have
Joe's still on.
Yes,
And the-
I'm dyslexic too.
Are you?
Yes.
And the way you were taught, I could have learned in your class.
Cindy,
when
are
I
you
was
still
a
playing?
kid.
Joe wants to say goodbye.
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe, I love you to pieces. I love you on Criminal Minds. I'm just watching that season. Thank. Oh. Oh. Who is this?
His daughter.
Oh, she's obsessed with. Oh, travels with my
Yes,
aunt.
the
American
Rebels are fine,
Graffiti.
yeah.
Travels with my aunt. A series. Was it a TV movie?